when they see me out there, leading rides, leading beginner rides, focusing on the newbie, I think that it makes it more comfortable for people to come and join in when they actually see that I'm practicing what I preach, so to speak.
Hi, everyone. This is Bill Nesper from the League of American Bicyclists. Thanks again for joining us for another Bikeside Chat. Be sure to check out our other Bikeside Chats on our YouTube page and subscribe to stay in the loop with the League. The movement to create a bicycle-friendly America for everyone is powered by incredible people transforming lives and communities through better bicycling. We thank you for all you do to power this work in your communities and for joining us to recognize and to learn from these incredible leaders from across the country who are making bicycling safe, comfortable, and accessible for all. Today, we're continuing these Bikeside Chats with our 2021 winner of the Susie Stevens Joyful Enthusiasm Award, Robin Woods. This award commemorates Susie Stevens, one of the Alliance for Biking and Walking's founders and an enduring inspiration for many members of the biking and walking movement. The honor goes to an individual or group who carries on Susie's passion for advocating for bicycling as a fun and economical means of transportation. Robin Woods is founder of Women in Work, a SHERO of the Pittsburgh chapter of Black Girls Do Bike, a member of the Pittsburgh Major Taylor Cycling Club, and a street team employee of Pittsburgh Bike Share Healthy Ride. One of the nominators for Robin winning this award noted her years of dedication have both contributed significantly to and is expressive of the soul and identity of Pittsburgh area cycling and hiking. Another said, because of Robin, I cycled over 107,000 feet of elevation and 4 times as many miles in 2020 as in any previous year. Because of Robin, I've gained the confidence to ride on city roads and tackle the hills of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We're thankful to have Robin here with us today in a conversation with League Communications Director Lauren Jenkins. Over to you.
Thank you again for joining us and talking more about your League Award. We're really looking forward to getting to know you better and sharing your story. I'm, as the communications director at the League, always wanting to share the stories of our members and the people in communities who are inspiring other people to ride, because I want more of our membership to see themselves in the things that our members are doing. And I think, in this time of COVID that I think we're hopefully coming out of soon, that it's been harder to make those connections. So I'm glad you could come here and share with us. So I think with that, I can just dive into the questions and say,
Sure.
I think I like this one because I think it's an easy one to kick off with. But we know you love biking now, but how did your bike story begin?
Oh, it began as a child. I loved biking as a child. I really did. So I always had a bike from the age of about, I guess, 8 and, all the way until I was a teenager. And then when I was about 20, I had purchased a bike and I, was riding along in the city, but it wasn't a passion like it is now. My passion actually began in about 2005, around 2005. We all were novices, as adults, because now, we were in our 40s. And so we all were novices and we bought heavy hybrids and we started cycling with the Major Taylor Cycling Club of Pennsylvania, which was born in 2004. So around 2006, I started cycling. And when my brother became the president of the bike club, then my passion really took off in about 2008. And so that's when it started in about 2006.
I love hearing that it's a sort of a family passion. So it
Yes.
probably did start when you both were pretty young, huh?
Yes, I actually taught him how to ride a bike when we were kids. But yes, he became the president of Major Taylor, and I was definitely an intricate member. I was a ride leader. I was a board member, for some years. And then in 2013, Black Girls Do Bike, was erected. And so I became the Pittsburgh SHERO probably in about 2015. And I had heard about the bike club, but I was really involved with Major Taylor at the time. So, but I had gone away to do a Mid Atlantic ride in New Jersey, and it was a fundraiser, and I had pledged to do 50 miles. And and some people had pledged to do 100. So at the 50-mile, well, 25-mile mark, I turned around and came back because some people kept going. And I ended up with a group of gals from New Jersey, Black Girls Do Bike New Jersey. And I couldn't believe how warm they were and welcoming and attentive they were to their members and the female cyclists. So when I got back to Pittsburgh, I started, riding with Black Girls Do Bike, and or at least getting involved through social media. Let's just say that. And somehow I ended up leading rides for them and becoming the SHERO. So I've been active, very active since about 2015.
It sounds like leadership suits you wherever you go. It finds
Yes,
you.
yes. And so that's how it all began. And then everything was smooth sailing until COVID. And things came out of COVID.
Right. Well, tell me a little bit about how, I remember you talking about doing some like snowshoeing and skiing and other events. Like, tell me about how you shepherded your fellow riders through the last year.
Yeah, well, I had just purchased a new road bike in just before COVID hit. COVID hit Pittsburgh in March. I bought a new bike in February. So for a while, none of us knew what to do, right?
Right. Right.
None of us knew what to do. So
we all wanted answers, but no one had any.
Yeah. So we weren't riding, the city was shut down. A lot of the bike shops some of the bike shops were closed. Everything just shifted. And so I wasn't riding. None of us were riding because we didn't want to get hurt. We didn't want to go to the hospital. We didn't know whether it was airborne. Right. It was just awful. And so after being sedentary for about 8 weeks, that I had enough. And we actually started riding. We started riding last summer, and we practiced social distancing, and we were very COVID savvy. And then in the middle of that, I lost my job, and I'm like, okay. And right then and there, I turned my passion of cycling into a business. And that's when I developed Women at Work, which focuses on training women. So last summer, I had a lot of clients because everybody was biking. Everybody was biking. Everyone had been cooped up in the house. And so that's what we did to keep us busy. And everything just took off from there. But then winter set in. So I had a good base of ladies that I was riding with, leading rides a couple times a week. And we all had rescinded our gym membership. So what do? It's January. This is Pittsburgh. So we started hiking. We joined meetup groups. And we started hiking in the winter, in the middle of the winter, January, February, because you can kind of get through football season in the winter. You have football to entertain you. But then we started doing meetup hikes. And from there, we got a lot of snow and we started sled riding or sled saucering down big hills. And from there, we went with another local activity group called Venture Outdoors. And we started snowshoeing, and we purchased snowshoes on our own. And that's how we kept busy, at least two to three times a week. we were outside. We bought the heavy gear, the waterproof pants, the waterproof boots, and we just had a good time. And then we cycle early. So we started cycling
Mm-hmm.
again in March. So,
That's
yeah.
awesome. And it feels like I know how intimidating it might feel for me to like show up to a meetup group for hiking or something I've never done before, but it sounds like you approached it by having, you know, a group of women
Yes.
going into it together.
Yes. Yes. Social media. Yeah, I started posting on Black Girls Do Bike, Women at Work, and we ended up with one day, it was 24 degrees, and we had about 15 women that was
That's awesome.
actually hiking. Yes.
I feel like I like to think that the biking helps get you ready for having to purchase gear for every other activity or hobby you get into, right?
Yes, because, as you know, the clothing is very important.
Yeah.
Very
I
important.
yeah. And I think I'm always I think the Black Girls Do Bike groups always have some of the best looking kit when they're out on their bikes.
Yes, there are a lot of them. There are a lot.
Well, what are you looking forward to in the next year then? I think as we do think about getting out of this you know, challenging COVID period, and you know, we, you know, were a standout in our Susie Stevens Joyful Enthusiasm Award, that, you know,
Thank you.
looking to you for like how do we lead more people into this future of biking and advocacy? What are you looking forward to?
Yes, first of all, I planned our first road trip.
Oh,
Yes, we are actually leaving tomorrow.
oh,
I named it the Consortium Century because of Black Girls Do Bike. I'm always watching women from other states through social media. And the women in Richmond, Virginia,
mm,
seem to do a lot of centuries on the Capitol Trail, like every week. And I'm thinking, we do have trails, but it's kind of hard to do a century. It's very hard to do a century because you have to go through the city, and then there's gravel, and we have road bikes, and so it's not as easy. They do centuries every week. So I planned a road trip, and there are 15 of us that are leaving tomorrow to come your way or come through DC to do a century on the Capitol Trail. So that's what I'm looking forward to. We're leaving tomorrow. We'll be back on Sunday. And so again, it's, technology is what I use to draw people in, and being active, being out there. When they see me out there, leading rides, leading beginner rides, focusing on the newbie, I think that it makes it more comfortable for people to come and join in when they actually see that I'm practicing what I preach. So,
absolutely.
yeah.
And Richmond's a great town. So if the group of you is all heading down there, I think you're gonna have a great time.
Yes, we have an itinerary. So we have everything pretty much planned out for the weekend. And then when I return, the first week of June, I am sponsoring an event, and we're going to have an event that focuses on the new rider. So it's through Black Girls Do Bike, and we have some sponsorship from a larger company, should I say. And so we're going to have a 4-hour seminar, so to speak. And we will have an LCI coach there, and we'll have a bike mechanic. And so we're just going to, and some women are just really intimidated. So they've been watching us on, through the post, through Black Girls Do Bike. And when I rolled out the newbie event, so some of the newer women are coming so that they can become introduced to riding, because they haven't
Yeah.
come out on a short and sassy yet. So hopefully, well, they already paid for, it's a small, minute amount for the seminar. So they already paid. So I think that'll be great for them to come out and get some swag, because
Yeah,
we're going to have swag bags. So that's happening the first week of June.
that's so cool. It sounds like then you have things for the brand new rider, but
Yes,
also for the woman who wants to do a century.
yes, yes, exactly. Because I lead I guess a ride for seasoned riders once a week, and then
Mhm.
I lead a ride for newbies once a week, and then I ride with two more groups or Major Taylor twice a week. So I'm usually out there 3 to 4 times a week, weather permitting. It's been raining here a lot, so
No,
I'm like,
yeah.
okay, this is
Mhm.
going to be a very interesting century.
Well, it looks like the weather, at least in the DC area for this weekend, looks good. So
It does. It
yeah,
does here and in Richmond. Finally,
yeah.
lots of sunshine.
Yeah, and I think I love that what you're doing with the new riders, because you're right. It's so difficult. It feels like sometimes to get people over that initial
I know.
um, fear of showing up to
Yeah.
coming to a ride.
Yes. Yes.
So is there any advice you have for people, and maybe they have a club or a group in there? I know even my local groups they're always looking to me like, how do we get more women to show up? And it's you have to, I, at least from my perspective, it's like, well, you have to be very clear about the expectations of the ride. And when you say that you're going to have it's a no drop, you have to mean that it's a no drop ride.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I would say to, first of all, continue to be visible and to be consistent. So, I'm out there every week, weather permitting, and at some point, some of the women will come, and they have been coming. So I haven't figured out yet how to keep them coming back. I have a couple that do. But I think it's just innate. You know, um, some people have it and the drive, and some people, like you said, are women, should I say, or intimidated. So that's why I started with the short and sassy, which is 0 to 10 miles. So that's the classification. So if we get 5 miles, that'll be good. But the women, some of the women have been consistent with the 10-mile rides weekly. So my best suggestion is to keep being visible. And that's why I'm having the event, so that they can come and learn. If they feel uncomfortable or intimidated, they can come get information and meet some of the women. It's kind of like an icebreaker. So I'm looking forward to it. I did it some years ago, but it seemed to be, well, it was for the newer people, not the newer, I'm sorry, but, for the seasoned people, because it seemed like most of the people that showed up were people who were already riding. This one is targeted for the newbie. It's designed for the newbie.
Yeah, and I think I remember back to when I first started riding again after as an adult, and I went to a women's only how to change a flat
Yes.
clinic.
Yes.
And I just I felt like, even though it looked difficult and I knew there was a struggle, it's like, at least now I know the basics, and I can if I watched a YouTube video, I would be reminded of like the in class part, and just having some of that, the what ifs taken away, or
Sure.
at least ameliorated, where you're, all right, what happens if I get a flat? Well, at least it might be hard, but I can do it. I can fix
Yes,
it.
you can do it, and you know what you need in order to change a flat, because that's the key there. Because people do show up without the proper tools to change a flat. So that's what we're going to be teaching people, next month. And and the good thing is, if you have everything you need, 9 times out of 10, somebody's going to assist you.
I know.
Someone's going to assist you.
Yeah, it's always sometimes nice when you're on a group ride and there happens to be someone who's like a bike mechanic or maybe works at a
Sure.
shop, and they're just like, you know what, it's going to be faster for everyone if I jump in here. And I'm like,
Exactly.
normally I'm a very independent person, but in this case,
I
sure,
know.
get
I
in
know.
there.
Yes, for sure. Yes.
Well, and it sounds like too, I think it'll be a great opportunity for women to meet other women who are also new, because I just think sometimes, obviously this last year we've been doing a lot of riding alone or riding in small groups, but it's so much more enjoyable when you have other people to ride with.
Yes, it is. It is. The camaraderie is awesome. Yeah, it's really awesome. And you get to meet people who live in your neighborhood that maybe you have never met before. And you get to see what you have in common with other people. It's there's something to be said about group riding.
Definitely. Well, before we wrap up, I wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about women at work a little bit more, because it
Oh,
sounds like you took this opportunity, you turned a challenge into an opportunity and your
yes.
passion into work. And I would love to hear more about it.
Yeah. So last summer, I I had the Facebook page out there, but I changed the name of it and I changed it to Women at Work Cycling in Pittsburgh. And I was just doing some training of women that wanted to learn how to cycle on the trail. And so I had a few clients, like maybe two or three. And so after the winter, and we were still very active, I said, well, I'm going to turn this into, I'm going to retire from corporate America and just do this. This is my new life now. And so last fall, we had our first kit order. So we have our personalized or custom kits, should I say. In April 8th, I became LLC. So we have, of course, the insurance through um, the league and American Specialty Insurance. So we have insurance through the league, and we're just having fun. We're just having fun. It's a separate entity from, of course, from Major Taylor and Black Girls Do Bike. And like I said, my focus is the new person, to train the new person and get them comfortable so that they can, ride with the more experienced riders and come on trips. They have the confidence to come on trips. I love teaching. I went to school for business administration. So I have a bachelor's of science. And you know, that's just my forte, something I enjoy doing. And I like the outdoors, obviously. If I'm out there in 24-degree weather, yes, yeah. And I've always been that way. I like the winter. So
Yeah, I'm
this is,
from California, so I never understand that. I'm like, what? You like it when it's like that?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I my birthday is in November, and my mother used to tease me and say, "You like the winter because you were born in November in the winter." I'm like, "Oh, maybe so," but yeah, I do like the winter. I don't like the lack of sunshine that
Yeah,
much, that at all, really, but I do like the four seasons, and we get that in Pittsburgh, as you do in
right.
DC.
Yeah. Well, and I just love hearing about entrepreneurs and women entrepreneurs, especially in the biking world. I think sometimes it's sometimes hard to figure out, how do we make something like biking into a career? But I
Yeah,
think it's always wonderful to learn from people who
yeah,
have
it
done it and
just
who are doing it.
happened. It just happened. It's something I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. You dream about that as well. I did as a little girl. And but yes, it has to be something you really enjoy, and I really enjoy cycling. And in that respect, COVID changed the whole dynamic. You can't even buy a bicycle now. You can't
Yeah.
even get a bike unless you're spending $7,000. But all the hybrids, all the entry level road bikes, they're gone because everyone is cycling. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now we just have to keep them cycling.
Yes, yes. Let's hope. I think so. I think so because I think, most people fall in love with it. Most people fall in love. There are probably are some that don't, but the people I surround myself with thus far, I've surrounded myself with thus far, they really, really like it. And once you join the different bike clubs or national bike clubs like Black Girls Do Bike, Major Taylor, you get to travel. So, there's a whole nother world out there that encompasses cycling.
Yeah, and it seems like you always have someone to ride with if you want, or
Yeah.
tell you which route to take, or give you advice on which saddle to get if you can get your hands on a saddle right now. But well, is there anything else you want to talk about before I,
No,
let you go?
I've enjoyed my time with the league, and they have really been instrumental in helping me along with the insurance, the education. Um, I have a class coming up, an LCI class coming up.
Oh, nice.
So I have a job. I'm part of the street team, the bike share program, because every city has one now. Just I would imagine.
Yeah.
But so ours is about 15 years old, and they're going to roll out the old fleet of bicycles, and they're bringing in a new fleet at the end of the year that's going to have e-bikes as well.
Perfect. Yeah.
So that everybody gets a chance to ride a bicycle. We have a lot of hills, so.
Oh, right. You have like those 13 like baker's dozen crazy hills.
Yes, the Dirty Dozen.
Yeah.
So I took a job with that company, and it's a part-time job, and we're doing a lot of bicycling infrastructure, bike lanes, and some construction and street calming. So I'm part of the street team. So my job is to go around and put up posters all over the city, inviting people to the community meetings. Nice. And then we check on the posters, and then we remove them and do parking counts, because it all starts somewhere. So what I do is gather data when I'm counting cars so that they can, use the statistics to make a plan for bike lanes. So I have a part-time seasonal job in cycling community.
Yeah, and you get to be outdoors probably.
Mm-hmm. And it's the whole nonprofit is real different too for me.
Yeah,
because I've been corporate America since I was 20 years old. So
very different then.
It is different. Yeah.
You're like, wait, where is the American Express Gold Card? I thought I could just expense this.
Nope, there's something called a budget, and it's quite different from corporate America. So we recycle a lot. Yeah. Fundraise.
Yeah. Have like a 5-year-old or 10-year-old computer that you're working on.
It's different. Yeah. So, well, it was great meeting you, Lauren, and I look forward to meeting your new media person.
Yes, it's going to be great. I'm so excited.
Okay. Specialist. Okay.
Thank you.
So let's keep in touch.
Yes, absolutely. Right. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.
And have a good trip tomorrow. Oh my gosh.
Oh, yes, for sure.
I want to see photos. Are you on like Instagram or social media?
No, I haven't done that yet. But I am on Facebook. I have got to get on IG.
Yeah, obviously.
They say Facebook is for old people, so I need to get with the times.
Yeah, and connect with all the other SHEROs there too, so that'll be good.
Yes, that'll be great. Thank you.
Well, yes, have a good one.
All right, you too.
Bye.
Bye.